Today, I'm at Colorado Mesa University in Low-Honey Hall with Bob Lang, the Director of Diversity, Advocacy, and Health. Bob is 37 years into his practice and a graduate of Arizona State University and Northern Arizona University. Bob, how are you doing today?
Great, thanks so much for coming over. That's a lot of stuff to say as far as what I do on campus. And really what it boils down to is really being here to help students. I'm also a licensed professional counselor and a licensed addictions counselor, and really tell students all the time that my role really is kind of like that of the school counselor here on campus, even though I do a lot of different stuff. I also oversee our addictions counseling training program here on campus as well, and kind of our suicide prevention efforts that we do on campus. So.
That's a lot of amazing things that you do. I know personally that I love the idea of helping someone go through their problems or issues and try to come out as a better person. Has this always been an interest of yours, or did something kind of like turn in your life that forced you into this kind of path that you wanted to go help other people?
Yeah, I get that question a lot, and I tell people all the time that I was helping people way before I even knew what a therapist was. And really kind of focused on trying to help people. I think my first experience with it was really being a volunteer for Special Olympics and helping out in high school in relationship to doing some of those things with some of the kids. I really like doing that.
Do you find that those connections that you make with these people become stronger through adversity that they face that you can relate to?
That's one of the things that I probably have the most appreciation for, doing it as long as I have. I'm absolutely fascinated by people's stories. So being able to have individuals share their life stories with me is a privilege.
Do you find that it's difficult for some people to open up about these things like the majority of the time, as many would think, or do some people just come natural and someone offers to help them?
You know, one of the things I would have hoped would have changed over the last 37 years of doing this is that stigma and stereotype about both help-seeking and help-giving behaviors would have changed, but it hasn't. It's as prevalent as it ever has been, and I think sometimes people are reluctant to tell their stories, but we all have a story. And so in a sense, being able to allow individuals the opportunity to be able to tell their truth is something that's really powerful.
So you mentioned that you work in a lot of areas around the school, but one that you really like to focus on, I know, is suicide prevention. When you were first starting off, is there a certain case that sticks out in your mind as this was the moment I knew this is what I want to do? And then can you kind of describe to me what that was kind of like, that story?
Yeah, I was, and it still is with me today, even after, it was probably about 28 years ago. I was working with a family and kind of addressing some family therapy with the issues that were going on, and it was really because the parents had brought the children to come in to see me, and so I was doing some family therapy with them, and Dad had identified some depression issues and really was trying to get him connected with some help for himself, and he actually went home and shot himself in the bedroom, and when the kids were there at home, and the kids had found him, and so really worked with them to address the trauma of what that created for their family, and really kind of did some postvention services around that. And it was really hard to work with the family because they had so much shame and guilt that they felt about it, and so it really kind of let me know about that survivor's remorse that's kind of associated with those events that take place sometimes. And so that's been always something that I've been actively involved in as well.
So a lot of people focus, like on the families that you help and the people that you help and how they're feeling, but you kind of led into it a little bit. How does this affect you? How do you feel as you're assessing these new problems and trying to help these people become better and learn and grow and just become whole again?
I think it really is related to that sign that you see behind me that says "Make a Difference." It really is a motto that I've had my whole professional career, that yeah, there's a lot of tragedy and a lot of difficulty and a lot of trauma that happens in people's lives, but again, I find power in their stories, and it really does provide me an opportunity to really be in a position where I can help those individuals and in that process make a difference.
Do you find it kind of self-rewarding to feel that you're making a difference, or is it more just like, you know what, it's not about me, I'm just here to do my part, and as long as I can help just one person feel better, that's all I need?
Yeah, I think that the challenging piece, as always, is that we as helping professionals, and in fact it's kind of outlined in my new book, being in a place where we are removing as much of ourselves in that process, but also being actively engaged at the same time. So it really is a duplicity that kind of takes place in that process, almost in a sense where you're able to kind of be aware of all those things at once and still be able to be in a place where you can be there for that individual.
You alluded to your new book. I know you're an author. I believe you have 2 works. Do you mind talking a little bit about your books?
Yeah, the first one that I did was in 2010, and it was Becoming a Better Parent, 10 Things We Need to Know About Parenting. And because I had done a lot of family work and really started to kind of recognize that I was working with parents around the same kind of issues, and felt like there were lots of really good advice-driven books out there about parenting, but not really anything that really helped parents understand the dynamics of parenting itself. So the first book I wrote in 2010, and it really is about a theory of parenting. I usually warn people that it's a dry, kind of boring, technical theory piece, and really isn't kind of like a lot of what you would expect from parenting books. It's advice-driven. The other book I just finished this last summer, and it really is about the dynamics of helping, and how the micro skills that are associated with allowing individuals to really make an impact in people's lives, and how the helping process really works. And then the second part of it, or the second section, is really kind of focused on my 5S theory or 5S model of practice. It's really based on strengths, strategies, solutions, and systems that are all oriented towards people's success.
Would you say there's one defining moment in your career, whether it's conflict or resolve, that really just says, this is Bob Lang and this is what I'm here to do?
I think there are a number of those throughout. I actually had a professional identity crisis at one point in my career, and was really not happy with the pay differential that therapists get paid. We don't get paid a lot of money. So actually was recruited by a car dealer to do their marketing and training of sales staff, because I used to do motivational interviewing stuff. And they had asked me if I would consider working for them, and I said, well, I never really thought about it. But took the job and went through the train, because he had to be trained as a salesman to kind of do that. And it was actually a phenomenal opportunity for me, because I got to see the dynamics of psychology from a different perspective, and it really kind of brought me back to that passion that I really started off in the field with.
So I know that you go around campus and you give these presentations, whether it's on mental health, getting help, whatever it could be, resources that you can go find. Now let's say I'm taking one of your courses, I'm looking at what you do. What would you try to say to let me know that if I know somebody who is going through something very tough in their life, that they can go reach help? Where can people find you and get help?
I'm in Student Services office, so I'm always available for students that are here. The Student Wellness Center is also a really good place to get connected to those. Our mentoring office is also a really good place to find that support. But I think more importantly, recognizing how each of us as a member of the MAV family can really kind of be there for each other, and be in that role of a support system, to be there and have that. In fact, we use the MAV Ask campaign, which is approach individuals, speak up and know your resources, and really is just being able to ask a really simple question. Tell me what's going on.
I know that you talked about this in your presentation, because I've actually attended one, but always just asking for more and being open with people, just asking a simple question can do a lot for somebody, because not everybody asks. Would you say that's the most important thing in trying to help somebody?
I would say that is the most important thing. Not only that, but being able to learn those micro skills that are associated with the helping process, so you can ask powerful questions. And that was really a transformative shift for me professionally, as well as kind of moving from a place where I felt like I needed to know the things of what was going on, to really not knowing anything and really asking powerful questions.
And then I know that in the last 3 years here at CMU, you guys have been developing this new health and wellness program. Do you mind divulging in a little bit about what that's about?
No, I was really excited about being able to do that. We, prior to that, 3 years ago, were providing services for students, but they were being provided off campus, and so it made it difficult for us to coordinate those services for our students here on campus. And so we started with the Student Wellness Center, which is an integrated healthcare model where we work collaboratively with Community Hospital, who oversees the health clinic or the healthcare side of things, and we pair up with them to provide the behavioral health services. In doing that, we now have 8 licensed behavioral health providers, 3 master's level interns, 4 behavioral health coordinators, and 2 psychiatric nurse practitioners. And we were able to kind of go from providing about 1,500 units of service per year to more than 4,000 units of service per year over the last 3 years.
That's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, that blows my mind. I'm so happy that there's such a service at CMU for that. This is my last question. Where do you see this program going in 5 to 10 years? Where do you hope that it will one day be at?
So the vision really is in parallel to the same vision that President Foster has for CMU, to be a predominant university in the Western United States, and to kind of be in a place where we as Student Wellness Center can provide those services for the students here. So that, and I look at my role here on campus really boiling down to 2 really simple concepts: to make sure that students are safe and to make sure that they can be successful.
Okay, I just want to say personally, thank you so much for everything you do. It's really awesome to know that there's at least one person on this campus. I know there's a lot more, but someone that if you need help, you can go find it. They're open, they're nice. Bob, thank you for an amazing interview. I really appreciate everything you do for this school.
Well, I appreciate you guys here. You guys are the reason I'm here, so that's why I think I really love my job in a sense, because it really gives me the opportunity to kind of work with y'all.
Thank you.